This is the best part.
I love
It's a coffee table book about coffee tables. Yeah.
Is that clever?
Yeah.
I think that is so clever.
I think so, too. This guy could be a little bonkers, really. Anyway, if you will, would you please welcome Kramer?
See, the beauty of my book is, if you don't have a coffee table, it turns into a coffee table.
Hello everybody and welcome. My name's Josh, and if you're watching this, then you're one of the few people who has clicked on the video without me needing to put a sexy bikini babe thumbnail on it. I'm aware that it's been over 3 months since I've uploaded. I've been absolutely flat out with my thesis at uni. Not really, it's been quite cruisy actually. In this video I'm making a coffee table for Mum's birthday. She supplied me with some recycled timber and square steel stock, and I'll be putting it together. You can see me using my Oshito table saw with a custom made high precision guide fence. I'm cutting the tongues off the outer timber floorboards to leave a smooth edge on the tabletop. Mum specifically said that she wants the tabletop to be rustic and weathered, which means that timber chipping, warping and cracking are all okay. This makes my job considerably easier. Here I am measuring the width of the tabletop so I know what length to cut the cross members at. Now I'm cutting the length of the cross members using mostly recycled pallet timber. It's amazing how many friends have contacted me since I've started making videos, basically trying to give me building materials. It's awesome. I just keep accumulating all these materials. It's like an endless supply. Notice that I'm using some small square timber pieces that have the same dimensions as the steel that I'll be using for the frame. These act as a spacing guide and will allow the frame to sit snugly around the tabletop, but you'll see that later. This old recycled timber is prone to cracking, so I'm pre-drilling the holes before screwing. I'm now making a straight cut along the edge of the tabletop to make sure that all the lengths of timber are flush. Now I'm drawing up a little plan for the steel frame. The rough dimensions of the table are 400 millimeters high by 1300 long and 600 wide. Now I'm cutting the steel to length. Sure, it'd be nice to have a cut-off saw, but gotta use what you got. I really like repeating processes over and over, like for example here how I'm cutting the steel to length. I find it fun to try and find little shortcuts in your work. You try and make the process more efficient by reducing the number of steps. So you test things like trying to cut multiple pieces at once just to save time and effort. This is mostly a result of me being quite lazy. Cutting the steel lengths with the angle grinder didn't leave a very square finish, so I'm just straightening them up on the bench grinder. And now I'm hitting them with the wire brush so that when it comes to welding there won't be any surface rust and it'll be a little bit easier. I'm just laying out the steel for welding now. I bought these magnetic welding clamps recently, and for this project, straight out of the packet they were amazing, incredibly useful. But after a few uses I found that they just picked up metal shavings from angle grinding and such around them, and they've lost a lot of their strength, so I'm not sure how good they are in the long run. I'm using a flap wheel here on the angle grinder for cleaning up the welds because it leaves a really nice finish. I try to not film welding on my new camera because it completely destroys the sensor. It's partly the reason why I bought a new camera, is because my phone camera now looks like I'm filming ghost apparitions wherever I go. But here I'm just welding the rectangular end pieces together. Poor use of a belt right there. And lots of grinding. Here I'm marking out holes for drilling so that I can screw the tabletop to the frame securely. We don't want anybody spilling their tea, do we? And countersinking. This is my favorite bit right here. It's so funny watching Dora because she knows when you're upset and she always comes running in to comfort you. She's a really good workshop buddy. Re-welding the broken frame because I'm a muppet. I'm using this metallic paint and primer with a bronze finish. I really like this paint because you can apply it to anything, even if it's got rust on it. It'll basically act as a rust preventative. And I just applied one thick coat of paint. I'm removing staples and nails from the tabletop because these used to be old floorboards. Now Mum didn't want the tabletop to look brand new, and so I couldn't use power tools or traditional sanding equipment. She suggested that I use steel wool, it's coarse steel wool, so that it would leave still an aged look about the tabletop. This is quite a long process, but also quite relaxing, just sitting there and sanding away, getting all the old paint drops off. I wasn't able to get that stain out of the tabletop, but I think it kind of added a nice touch, rustic touch. I'm sure plenty of you would differ your opinions and think it looks shithouse, but it stayed. Oi! Look at all your dust coming off. Yeah, I had to vacuum her after this. Now I'm applying a beeswax to the top using a fine steel wool this time instead of coarse. I really like the finish left by this wax. It fills most cracks and holes and it basically hides splinters. So after applying this, you can run your hand along it and you can't feel the splinters. Also noticed a bee flying over the tabletop. I think it's looking for its wax. And finally the tabletop is ready to go onto the frame. And this is the finished product. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this style of video with a commentary over it instead of music. I'm going to smash out a few more videos before Christmas, so subscribe for more. And let me know if my voice sounds like chocolate or celery.
Did I tell you this guy was bonkos?